Hello, Guru Nation. Welcome back to another episode of Random Musings from the Clinical Trials Guru. I've got world renowned LinkedIn expert, hacker, algorithm connoisseur, LinkedIn, Ashley Margot, AM. What's your company called for LinkedIn help?
Oh, the AM approach.
The AM Approach. Okay, a brilliant name because it's morning, so like you're waking up, and so you're not asleep, and then your name, Ashley Margot. I
Yeah,
mean, the pun is just you can slice it with a knife.
yeah,
Now, Ashley, we're on because we've done like the deep, nerdy, hour-long guest lectures on the algorithms to LinkedIn, which, by the way, students love, and they're your clients now, which is awesome. But
yeah,
we want to do more of the macro overview. Okay, more of the like, this is why LinkedIn is important, and this is why, as a job seeker, you need to use LinkedIn and how you can use LinkedIn to attract job recruiters. All right, because believe it or not, I mean, you probably know this better than I do. People, despite how many times I say LinkedIn's important, beef up your LinkedIn, they ignore it. And then, like nothing's going to happen. What do you expect is going to happen if you don't use the platform? Like the recruiters live on this platform. I
yeah,
understand these recruiters pay money, hundreds of dollars a month, to find people like you, job seeker, that's out there. All right, so this is important.
yeah,
This is important stuff, and Ashley's here to help us uh, attract more recruiters. Because really, we're
yeah,
helping the recruiters do their job, and if you make your LinkedIn profile stand out as a job applicant, you're helping the recruiters do their job better. So, welcome, Ashley. Thank you again for coming on. How are you?
doing great, doing great. Just working, progressing forward, always.
That's right. We got a lot of good stuff happening to you soon, so we'll do more interviews. You're going to be a regular. You're a regular CRA Academy guest lecturer. Now you're CRC Academy. So this is
Yeah,
exciting. All the Guru Nation's going to get to know you very well over this next decade. So, Ashley, job recruiters. Okay, let's pretend like I'm a job seeker and
mhm,
maybe I got furloughed. You know, a lot of people recently have gotten furloughed, um, or maybe I'm someone that wants to get into the industry. Okay, just there's a lot of these people out there. How do they attract job recruiters to their LinkedIn?
mhm. So, first of all, definitely LinkedIn is so important. It is so important. I mean, what you could do in one, I guess you could say, meetup recruitment event, you could do in about 5 minutes on LinkedIn. So the best way to put it. I mean, you can connect so quick, so fast with many people. So don't underestimate LinkedIn. I mean, I actually even got set at my mom the other day because she's just like, oh, I don't have one. And it's like, so it is very important that you create one. You have to fill it up, make sure that it's completely detailed, everything, into the most minute thing. If you did something 3 years ago and you went and, like for instance, for me, about 5 years ago, I created a coordinating event to help with dental hygiene for kids in Peru. Super random, very just out of there, but I added that even though it happened a long time ago, but because it shows, it's a detail, a little insight as to who you are, and that's what the recruiters want. They want to know who you are and who they're representing and who they're bringing to the company that they're either working for or that they're third party working for. And that's something people need to understand is that a recruiter also gets, a portion when if you get placement into the job, they get a portion with, I guess you could say, some sort of compensation.
Yeah,
And so, if that's the case, they are looking for somebody that they know will be considered. So you need to show that. You need to look at the star on your LinkedIn. And so you need to be super detailed and you need to utilize the AI algorithm. Be very specific with your keywording, whether it's on, the top portion of your name jotting, or if it's in your personal blog, or I mean, personal summary section, or you have your personal branding. Make sure that you show enthusiasm, that you have storytelling on your job description, and be very specific. It's like one of my clients, I told them when I reviewed her LinkedIn, I mean, everything was great except for her job descriptions really weren't there. They're very small but specific. And I said, if somebody else was going up against you that had the exact same specifications on their resume, but they were detailed and you were not, the recruiter is not going to assume just because you have the same title that you did the same work. They're
Hmm.
gonna know that this person can do the job, does know what they're doing because they are detailed about
Wow. You
it.
were on our webinar today, so you heard me read off all those DMs and text, right? Like
Yes.
this is exactly what you're talking about. Like these people, like this furloughed coordinator, she did now she wants to be a CRA. You probably can be, but you have to put those things on your LinkedIn profile. Like
Yes.
go outside of your job responsibilities. What else did you do? Everybody does things outside of their
Mhm.
job responsibilities. Even mediocre employees do things outside of their job responsibilities. If you're a great employee, you're going to be doing lots outside your job responsibilities. But you're right, these recruiters are not mind readers and they don't know
Yes.
that. And the argument is okay, well, I can explain this in the interview. Well, guess what? You're not going to get an interview because it's
Exactly.
not posted.
Exactly. And that's the point of your resume versus your LinkedIn. Your resume has to be detailed but short and crisp to the point, and then all the extra, all the fluff, all the volunteering and extra awards and things like that that the recruiter really doesn't care about. If they don't, I mean, they go through hundreds of resumes and they just want to find the one. That can be on your LinkedIn, and that can be a talking point for the behavioral questions that you have to answer in the interview. Though that's very, very, very specific and good to know because I've already gone through, I would say, about 35 to 40 some resumes already, and it's the same thing over and over again. And there's just a lot of repetitiveness. There's not, people look like, for instance, like what you said on your webinar earlier today, that they're copying and pasting. It's very clear whether you are putting effort into your resume or not. And
Hmm.
I mean, I've had some I've already held multiple positions, but one specifically, it was one resume was just it was a great resume because there was so much great detail and clearly like clear knowledge and information, and obviously a very good candidate, but it just looked poorly done. It looked like there was no time and effort. It was just technical type and just straight down. And it needs to look like you took time to look at the font, about the sizing of the font, how you did the placement, how you did your personal branding section, and why you did it that way, and all these things matter. And in the beginning, when I wasn't actually doing this for myself, I really couldn't tell how big of an importance or difference it made. But more especially now that I've been looking at other resumes, and these are from professionals that have been in the workforce for more than 10 years, that have been in clinical research for more than 10 years. I mean, it surprised me very, very much. And so little things go a long way. You need to do that. And for instance, on LinkedIn, if you're going to be communicating with recruiters, say hi, say thank you for connecting, thank you for adding me, how are you doing? I actually spoke with a recruiter 2 days ago where I reached out to him and I was like, hey, thanks for the connect because he requested me. And his response was, wow, I've never had anybody thank me. That's really amazing. How are
Wow.
you doing? Yeah, and I was just like, I even showed out Alejandro. He was just like, wow, that's crazy. Like, yeah, it's the little things that count that are going to make you stand out. But you need to consider the audience, the person you're trying to sell yourself to, and you need to consider what it is that you would like. For me, as I said before on your other webinars, I don't want somebody just coming to me, hey, this is my stuff, help me. Like, yeah, anybody can say, help me, but how are you doing? Or I'm really interested in what you're doing. What drives you to do that? These kinds of questions matter, and these kinds of interactions matter very much. It's personability. It also speaks a lot to your personal branding outside of writing. This is you. This is who you present yourself as, and it speaks. multiple languages. Smiles go a long way, highs go a long way.
Hmm.
And so yeah, just networking LinkedIn, working your resume, making sure they coincide well. I think.
So basically, have a description of who you are. Don't just like people get lazy on their. Me too. I mean, we just put like what we do, and then that's it. But there's a section in each of your work history: job description, responsibilities, and then that's where you can put all your things that are transferable. So whatever role you want, you should know like what a CRA does, and then you should look at what have you done in your previous jobs that is transferable, and then put that in there. Is that what you're saying they should do?
Yeah, definitely. And something that I personally like to do sometimes, well, not sometimes, it's how I have it. So I have my detailed description specific to that job. But when I'm sending out a resume, you know how you're supposed to go in there and readjust according to the job position that you're applying for. I reword my resume because they can always go back and look at my LinkedIn, right? That's more specific to the job I was doing, more detailed. But on my resume, I word it to where it links well with what I know how to do that coincides with the job I'm applying for. So you reel them in through the resume, and if they want to look at extras, if they want to know more details, they can look on your LinkedIn. So it's just getting them in the step, the first store, and then if they want more details on that job, they can read it on your LinkedIn, where you have as many job points as you want. I mean, I recommend that going crazy, but uh, definitely having some more detail there is helpful for
And,
sure.
and recruiters actually look at this.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some. Do I know for a fact that they always look at it? No, I do not know that, but I have had recruiters tell me that they've gone through my profile. They're very interested in my background. I've had people tell me that they like how I've had exposure in all areas. That's not just business, but clinical business wise. And so, like you say, generalist.
Hmm.
And also the background that I have. So I have a lot of shadowing experience in different specialties, which, in my interview that I had, one specific thing that did know, and I don't mind sharing it with you here, that they did mention to me, and this was the last interview,
Right.
they specifically liked that I had exposure over multiple areas of specialties. So that made me realize it hadn't clicked before, but as a going into a CRA position, you're going to be looking over multiple studies. So having knowledge of multiple things kind of lets them know that they can expand you. And that was something that I wish I would have known before because I would have purposely gone and learned way more. But I was very fortunate because of my experience already. But definitely, if I could give anybody advice, is make sure that if you have general exposure, make it very clear that you do.
And if you don't, go get it. You know, go take a
Yeah,
Coursera course,
get it.
go intern, learn how to get studies for a site, learn how to recruit patients. Just learn and then add these things to your LinkedIn as well. They're not mind readers. These recruiters don't know what you've done unless you put it on there. So how many, like,
Yeah.
through your LinkedIn, approximately how many per week, like, recruiters reach out to you, and then how many do you typically reach out to? Like when you're in the job hunt.
Oh, when I'm on the job. Okay, well, mid-corona time wasn't necessarily on the job hunt because I was building what we are now calling the AM approach and working on COVID. But for 2 months that I did start all this, because this is just fresh that I just recently started doing. I started in January. I was getting, I would say about a day, probably like two or three recruiters adding me. But
Wow.
remind you, this is, yeah, remind you, it was also because um, of all the, I call it the tree spanning because you pick one recruiter and then you start utilizing their profiles to find other recruiters.
Hmm.
So I actually started seeing recruiters reach out to me, not just adding me, but not just requesting me, but messaging me and saying, hey, I've seen that all my other recruiter friends have you. I feel like we need to connect. So let's connect, which is interesting. I didn't realize that they have a system that does that. Now I know that. So all the more reason why I want to keep adding and keep connecting and all of that. So now something that I want to do on the AM approach eventually, do YouTube. I want to have a channel where I just interview recruiters. And so now I not only
Wow, that would do
have
very
the,
well.
yeah, I have all the contacts now. So, um,
Wow.
recruiters and different, yeah. So there you go.
We
You
can't wait for
never
that.
realize. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm excited because coming from somebody that has been working for more than 10 years and knowing the questions and wondering how they're looking at it, I think I can bring a different introspection of questioning for them and viewpoint for whoever's viewing. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a huge you've created this business, the AM approach. So I think it's a huge opportunity actually because people are ignoring their LinkedIn's, or maybe they're not ignoring; they just don't know how to structure it. So hopefully you learned something from this interview from Ashley. We're gonna have her link to her LinkedIn of all places underneath this video and in the show notes on the podcast. Ashley's very good at this stuff. I'll have you look at my LinkedIn too. How about that? You look at mine and see what I can do to get more opportunities.
for sure, let's do it. Happy to help.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. Reach out to Ashley. You won't regret it. Link underneath. And talk to you later. Bye bye.